almost time to gather and share your weekly recaps. Gather and share your takes. We've always got you covered with comics, TV shows, movies, and all the bullshit. Oh boy, do we love that last one. Ready to gather? It's time for the Gathering of the Geeks. Without further ado, here are your hosts.
We are Gathering of the Geeks, a podcast and a YouTube show built around the things we as geeks all love. Hashtag we gather on Sundays. Thank you for checking out the one where Chris is wild at heart. I'm one of your hosts, Emmet, and I'm joined by the Ted Lasso to my coach grid, Chris Evans. Chris, how you doing tonight?
Pretty good. How are you doing?
Yeah, doing well. Gathering of the Geeks, it's available on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. All you have to do is search for Gathering of the Geeks, and you will find us right there. Chris, I had this name set up for last week's show.
Oh, okay.
And I canceled because it was family day. So I went in to create the show today, and it was still there. I'm like, oh, copy and paste, baby. So,
all right. Well, at least it does something correctly.
we're looking at you, Restream.
We are learning your ways.
Hey, Cookie, how you doing on this fine Sunday evening? Chris, let's get right into the action today, because I think we got a few things to talk about. And, we're off for 2 weeks. So what'd you get up to over the last little while?
This and that.
A little from column A, a little from column B.
A little of that. I read some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Though I thought I was going to read more during this 2 weeks, but I realized after I finished that Midnight Suns game. I told you about that.
Right. When
I looked at the hours it said I spent playing this game, I realized why I have not read anything. Basically, whenever I would have a free second, that's what I would do. And that just destroyed my time. And afterwards, I was like, well, I just got to watch something. My brain is melted. But I did read. I caught up completely with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle book. I read it all now.
Nice.
Yeah, that's some good stuff there. I really like that a lot. I still think Donnie is grotesque, and I don't like that. I thought the Casey Jones stuff was really neat. I thought that was cool. The new villain is interesting. He's just a dude.
Yep.
He's a suit.
He's a lousy corporate suit.
Yeah, it's a corporate suit. Like, oh, okay, that's different. I'm also a little. This is, I think, where we talked about this before, but the confusion is coming into the series because there's stuff I do not get, like the Mutant Island and stuff like that. But it's not like, oh, this ruins the book. It doesn't. I'm just a little curious. I could probably Google it, but that just occurred to me.
Come on.
That just occurred to me as we were speaking. So I guess I'm Googling that later. But yeah, if you're a Turtle fan, I think it's just, like we've been saying, it's worth the read.
Yep.
Caught up with that. I read Lucky Devils #2. Now, I have a question about this one. Do you feel this book is too long?
I didn't read #2.
Oh, okay.
Like too many pages?
Well, yeah, too many pages, but also it's so conversation based.
Right.
It's a lot. That he just distracted me. It's a lot of dialogue. So it's just chunks and chunks of reading and not much on the visual side.
Right.
It's almost like you're reading a novel that happens to have illustrations, if that makes sense.
Did you feel that way after the first issue, or is it just
I did, but no, I felt the first one too, but this one especially because it just keeps going. There's like a point where you think it's over and it's not. It keeps going for another 45 pages, it feels like.
Yeah, so I just looked. It is 28 pages.
Sweet. Well, that is surprising.
So, I think it's the standard, but like if it feels long, I feel like that's like a movie that feels longer than it is. It's just because it's like there's something about it, and that's
You
not a
know,
good thing most of the time.
I mentioned I was talking to our buddy Phil Walsh about this earlier. I forgot which movie we were comparing, but he mentioned how Oppenheimer's 3 hours and you don't feel it,
Yep.
which I agree with. But then you watch another movie, it's like you're checking your watch. When is this thing done?
Yep.
When was it over? Even though you like it, it's like, hey, this is dragging a bit. And I feel
Mhm.
that is the case with Lucky Devils, even though it is a blast and it is really fun. The second
Interesting.
issue, yeah, the second issue actually kind of ramps things up a bit more,
Hmm.
introduces some new things, and it reminds you they are devils. They are not they're not angels.
Right. Right.
Yeah, it reminds you the title is real. So
Not false marketing here.
no, this is not false marketing. They are not kidding around. These are devils. They are kind of lucky, I guess. But so I read that. That was a really good time.
Nice.
Just long. I'm curious what you'll think about it
Yeah, that's interesting.
because I feel like it's like reading a Hickman book.
That's not good.
No, that's a bad sign. If the third
Not
one
good,
is
Chris.
also like that, I think we might have a problem because it's fun until you're like, well, I read what felt like 30 pages already.
Right.
When, Lord, when will it be my time?
Fair enough.
Yeah, so that was fun. Did you read Absolute Batman
Number
5 or is it
5.
6? 5?
Yeah, number 5 was this week. Yeah, or last week.
Something's going on in the comments. I think this is an Honora thing. I don't have to highlight them anymore, but because
He's
they're on
the
the screen, but
one.
still.
He's the
Follow your
always
heart.
fell. Okay.
I think this is an Honora thing, and if it is, I support it.
Yeah.
Honora is wonderful. I think that's what's going on.
Okay.
It's not wicked. I know that.
You hope
I,
it's not, anyways.
I trust these folks. I trust them. What do you think of Absolute Batman?
Yeah, I like number 5. I thought it was some of the best art in the entire this year's. Probably coming off of number 4, which was not our favorite art. So I think that might have helped a lot. But even just Nick Dragonata, I think, is the artist.
I just call him the Dragon.
Yeah, the dragon. I thought the
It's Honora.
yeah. I thought the art was some of the best that we've seen. I thought the action scenes, particularly, just moved along really well in this one, and sets up something interesting. The ending sets up interesting in the second arc. See where we're going with Bruce and Alfred. All that kind of stuff, and I like in this one we see the bat signal,
Yeah.
and it's just as fat as Batman is, just as thick. So I thought that was right. So yeah, I liked it a lot. Big rebound issue from number 4.
Okay. I co-sign most of that.
Okay.
I just have a single issue that I don't know. Nobody else seems to have talked about this really. What is Alfred mad at the end? Did you understand that? Because I felt like I missed something, and like I need to go back and read every issue. Because Alfred is very upset at the end of this book.
He's never a joyful person in the book.
He's not. He's very bitter old man Alfred. Also,
Yeah.
this sounds like a
Yes,
Disney series, Aaron of the Future. I feel like that is a series.
I'd watch it.
I will watch that too. Australian Aaron from the Future. And maybe we have like an American spin-off where it's not as good, but people like it.
Phil from the past.
Well, no, Phil of the Future. That I think is the real show.
Phil of the Future.
I think that's
Aaron
the real
past.
show.
I get you.
Yeah. Flash from the Past, Brendan Fraser. It's a good time.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know what he was mad about. But other than that, I thought this was a stellar issue. I did think the action was kind of hard to follow in it. That's just me. And I saw a lot of people praising it, saying it's the best action we've seen so far in the book. And
that's my thoughts. Yeah.
Oh, really?
That's my thoughts. Yeah.
I actually like the scene on the City Hall steps better.
Oh yeah.
I thought that was really neat. But this was good too. I'm not saying it was bad. It's just kind of hard to follow. I like that we finally. I feel like there's an elephant in the room regarding Black Mask. Like, is this the Roman Sionis that we know? Is it not? Well, it's not. It is not him. So this is a different Black Mask, which explains basically everything. And I like it, though. I like that it's a different thing. I think that this has really set the stage for me to keep telling myself, don't expect, the status quo. This is a different beast.
Yeah.
So when the Joker has, one eyeball, he's got a tattoo across his forehead that says fixed or whatever, don't get upset.
Or Mr. Freeze is a ghoul of some kind.
He's Count Orlok, which I'm not mad at.
Yeah.
I don't mind that he looks like Count Orlok. I'm all for that right now. He's an appetite. You know what I mean? But yeah, I thought Absolute Ban was very good. I agree. It is the best art so far, which is funny because it's the same artist. I feel like maybe he just found his groove or whatever.
Yeah, it's possible.
I don't know. Maybe it just set in finally. But it's funny. It's a stark contrast from the new Jorge Jimenez Batman we're going to be getting.
Oh.
A very stark. It's very different looking.
Yeah, very slimming, muscular Batman.
Much more swimmer's body as opposed to 80s action figure He-Man body.
That's right.
I think he'd even make He-Man a little scared there.
Mm-hmm.
What is this guy juicing with?
He's a thick boy, that's for sure.
He is a thick one, yes. So I read that. And then it was Wolverine week. I read Ultimate Wolverine #2.
Nice.
I really like this take on him.
Oh, good.
And I think if I read the Ultimates, there's more of him because I saw a cover where he's featured with the other characters. And it also has Miles and Peter on the cover of that same book, which is interesting because I thought that Miles wouldn't exist in this universe, but I think I'm wrong. Or I guess I am wrong. He's on the cover.
Yeah, okay.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But this Wolverine is a Winter Soldier idea, it's kind of fun. Because he's vicious and violent anyway. Give him a reason to be.
Mm-hmm.
Still, and the art is really like scratchy, but I like it too.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, it's got that. It looks like scratches, but it's cool. I think you might like it.
Yeah, I'll try. I feel like I'm falling behind on comics, and like you said, you played Midnight Suns, and like that feels like that takes up all your energy.
Mm-hmm.
It's like my energy's gone from not comics for a little while. Yeah, but I like this. This is one I wanted to read because I read Ultimate Spider-Man #1. I didn't like that one. I read Ultimate Black Panther. I did like that one. I read that one for a couple of issues, and I dropped off on it. I didn't read Ultimate X-Men, but this one was one that I do want to get checked out. And it's only 2 issues in, so I should be able to get caught up on it.
Yeah, and Sabretooth is coming, so you might want to get on it before that.
Nice.
Yeah, I think he's issue 5.
Okay.
Yeah, Sabretooth is coming. Aaron, when does Spidey versus Predator drop? I don't know, but I'm really excited for that because I think they did a great job with the Wolverine versus Predator book. And I think they did a Black Panther one too, and I heard that was cool.
Just looking at the thing, Marvel says April 23rd.
Okay. Well, not too far away.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be a fun one, I think. I'm excited.
A whole bunch of Predator books. Jesus.
Yeah,
Predator versus Wolverine, Predator, Black Panther.
He's very popular. Very popular creature.
Yeah, I guess so.
I like Predator.
I do too. I just didn't know there was such an appetite for him to. I guess like for all of those books, like the Godzilla book or Predator.
I don't even understand how that works.
I didn't. Godzilla. Well, I didn't know that there was an appetite for these type of characters and these stories to be involved with comic book characters. I didn't know that was such a big thing.
It's like One Nacho.
What?
It's like One Nacho. They're all pop culture.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
All these different characters that they keep putting into comics. It's like one thing.
One Nacho?
Yeah, it's a thing.
I have no idea what that means. I've never heard that before.
I've only heard it once, and it stuck with me. So now and then I just...
Now it's going to stick with me. I'm going to say it to somebody.
Well, there you go. Now, and you know how to use it. It means when everything's the same thing, it's One Nacho. Have you ever seen the movie Saving Silverman?
No.
Okay, there's a scene where Jack Black and Steve Zahn are talking about nachos when they get stuck together with the cheese. and how many one is eating over the other or something like that. He's like, well, it's one nacho.
One nacho.
There you
Okay.
go.
I'll ride with
Cool.
it.
You should also ride with Ultimate Wolverine.
Yeah.
I think that's all I read. I think, other than some probably random Marvel shit I found.
Mm-hmm.
That'll do.
Yeah, I didn't read too much either. I wanted to read a bunch this week. There was some books that I wanted to get to. Wonder Woman 18, New Gods number 3, and Batman and Robin Year 1 number 5 that I didn't get to. But I read a whole bunch of the new Transformers book.
The Daniel Warren Johnson one?
Yeah. So I actually have. I was looking through my comics this week, and I realized I had it. I had the first 2 collected issues, which is issues 1 through 12. Daniel Warren Johnson is on the first arc, where first story and art, and then in the second arc he just does the writing, and then Jorge Corona does the art for the second arc. It's a very good book for the first 12 issues, but it's interesting you mentioned about how you felt like the Batman action scenes were hard to follow. Transformers action scenes are incredibly hard to follow because they look so much alike. Like there's always a red and a white Transformer fighting a red and white Transformer. It's hard to, and because the characters are so big, anytime they do any, I guess, hand-to-hand combat type of deal, it's hard to fit them into a panel or a page.
Are you saying they all look like one nacho?
Yeah, it's one nacho, Chris.
There you go.
It's yeah. This is the one about the one nacho.
I like it.
So aside from the art's difficult to follow at times, it's not as sad as Daniel Warren Johnson. What's interesting is the first arc is, but then when you get into the second arc, it's not as bad. Like in the first one, there's sibling deaths and there's dad deaths and there's this, that, and the other thing. And then in the second arc, it's like it's a different kind of writer where it's not as sad.
Yet.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I've only read the 1 through 12, but it's really interesting. Like I'm a very low level Transformers fan. Like I've seen the new action movies or the new live action movies, I should say. Some of them, not all of them. But I watched some of the cartoon. I never really had the toys growing up. I didn't read the older comics or anything like that. So, knowing who Cliff Jumper is, there's a Transformer named Cliff Jumper. Never heard of that one before. So learning different Transformers is kind of a cool initiative that I've taken on. Obviously Optimus is there, but like Bumblebee isn't a main character.
He's not. I thought Bumblebee was a big deal.
That was my assumption as well, knowing that he was in all of the live action ones. He had his own live action one, and he was big in the Transformers 1 movie as well. But yeah, so it's still got the big hitter like Starscream and Optimus, but then it's also got some different ones as well, which is cool. As I say, whenever I read a Marvel comic, I don't know anything about these characters most of the time, so reading them just to learn about them is kind of cool. And aside from action scenes being a little bit hard to follow, I still love Daniel Warren Johnson's art. And Jorge Corona kind of has the same kind of style. You mentioned, it's funny, again, you mentioned Scratchy for Wolverine. I think Daniel Warren Johnson's and Jorge Corona's are a little scratchy at times too, but they both arcs have colors from Mike Spicer, who always worked with Daniel Warren Johnson.
Spicer's good.
So it looks very good. So yeah, I had a great time catching up on issues 1 through 12 of Transformers, because when it originally came out, I think I only read the first 2 or 3, and then dropped off of it, of course. So cool to catch up on Transformers, and it had me wondering if I wanted to read the other books in the universe. There's the Cobra Commander book, Void Rivals, G.I. Joe, that kind of thing, but I just wasn't sure. I wasn't sure what your kind of relationship is to G.I. Joe.
Don't have one.
Really, yeah. I wasn't a G.I. Joe kid when I was growing up either, so I don't really have too much of an investment in those characters.
I like the movies.
Sure.
But I feel like these toys that have become comics and movies and stuff, like you mentioned, there's all kinds of Transformers. It's kind of like Masters of the Universe. Like, there's He-Man, Skeletor, and then some of the side characters, but they have a really deep roster of just
Right.
bizarre stuff, like Goatman.
Yeah. Yeah. Is
Which
that
you guys,
real?
that's really he's in the movie, in the upcoming movie,
Awesome.
and I
Awesome.
believe he's played by the Mountain from Game of Thrones.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah, but it's like Transformers and the Master Universe to me are the same kind of thing, where you have all these characters who are just made to be toys,
Right.
so they have the most ridiculous names and designs.
Right.
I think his name is Ram Man, Fisto, Goat Man. There's a bunch of different stuff.
Crazy.
Yeah, and then Transformers has like what was it called? Cliff Jumper?
Yeah. Cliff Jumper.
Never heard of that one.
No,
I
exactly.
think
Exactly.
Transformers One had a couple I hadn't heard of either. I think it was Transformers One. Maybe it was Beast Wars,
Sure.
one of them.
Oh, Rise of the Beast, that one?
Yeah, that was called, that was called Beast Wars. Yeah,
Well, the Beast Wars was a TV show.
okay. Yeah, I'm not really big on I'm not a big Transformers guy. I just watch the movies, and I do like cartoons sometimes.
Nice.
Daredevil was good. Aaron said Daredevil was good. Have to wait for Unleash Hell. Unfortunately, damn Red Band not available digitally. I didn't know Daredevil was getting a Red Band book. I thought only Blade and Wolverine have those. Surprised that you said it's not as sad going forward, because that first issue made sure to let you know this is Daniel Warren Johnson.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Well, go ahead.
Okay.
All right. We're going to have a technical thing here. Emmett's not feeling well, so we're going to cut the show short, I believe. I don't know if we'll be back. But we could sit for a minute, I guess. Well, hold on. No, we're going to cut the show short, so have a good night, guys. Sorry. Y'all can find us at G of the Geeks on Twitter, of course. You can find Emmett at Emmett Davis 7, I think. You got mine, and that's it.
Thank you for joining us. It's been a real grand time. Have a good night. We'll see you next Sunday. Remember, we support you as long as you aren't doing heroin. Please don't do that.